Hey guys, this is Tara with Kittens, Weights, and Tarot, and today is day 22 of Ethany's hashtag 31 Days of Tarot 20, and our prompt for today asks us what our top 5 tarot decks were for 2010 to 2019. Okay, well, that was really hard to kind of narrow it down to 5 because I've said before in other videos that if I still have certain decks, that's because I still love them and I still use them. So to pick like a favorite is kind of difficult because technically they're all my favorites. So I let the other decks know, you know, I love you, I still love you, you know, but I couldn't use all of you. I could only pick 5, but that doesn't mean I don't love the rest of you. Okay, so let's dive right into my top 5, and they're in no particular order. I was not even gonna do a like this is my top 1 and then my second best and third best. I'm like, these are just 5, 1. Okay, so how I decided to choose my top 5, I kind of had to go back into more of my OG decks that I used for quite a while and I've been using. So I have decks that are newer that I really love as well, but I decided to choose the ones that I've used the most and maybe for the longest in that period of time. And yeah, that I've really connected with and have helped me, and you know, so that means that, you know, there are other decks that are newer and they're awesome, yes, but we're choosing these ones. Okay, so let's dive into number 1, and that is the Invisible Light Tarot by Brandy Eve Allen. So this is a photography deck. As you know, I am into the photography decks, and this one was created using an old roll of film, just, you know, good old-fashioned darkroom and all of that, and I found that to be really interesting with this. So it kind of has a somewhat silvery edging. You kind of see they're all kind of bent maybe a little bit from all of the use that they've gotten. They're large, kind of like oracle size, but and I'm just gonna darken this up a little bit so you guys can see, but some of them are colorized, some of them are in black and white. Basically they had these kind of old rolls of film laying around, and she decided to take some pictures, see how it goes, and I think they came out great. I mean, it's called Invisible Light Tarot, so I love the use of light in these pictures. I'm like, was that an airplane getting ready to land on my roof? Or was that a truck ready to drive through my house? That was really loud. But anyway, yeah, so I used this for quite a while, not only for myself, but for clients as well. There is a lot of nudity throughout the deck, but you know, it's all in art. So I love this deck very much, and I still use it. I still bust it every once in a while. You know, I have to give love to all of my other decks, but yeah, there's a special place in my heart for photography decks, as a fellow photographer. Okay, so the second one, and Wally walked into the room and he's making a little nest on one of my sweaters that I threw off to the side, is the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Krans. And so this edition, I can't remember, I know this one is the kind you could get off of Amazon, so this isn't her original indie edition, because it took a while to kind of make up my mind about getting it, and then once I got it I was like, why did it take me so long? But those are the backs. And this deck is quirky in a way that it doesn't match all of my other decks because there is a lack of color. You know, it's just, you know, very simple. There's usually just a couple of colors in each of these cards, and for me, usually I'm a person who really loves color, but just like in the Invisible Light Tarot, what sets that apart in, you know, photographically, is that it's very simple and it's just a play with light, and I found that to be very interesting. So Not all of my decks look like that Invisible Light Tarot. Not all of my decks look like the Wild and Unknown. These are the exceptions, and I think that it's awesome to have, you know, something that's a little different than what you're used to working with, because I think that it gives a variety to your readings. It gives them, you know, it kind of spices up the readings a little bit. It kind of helps you know, change things up when it comes to your intuition and how you're reading things. So yes, this was definitely a fave in that 2010-2019 time period. And then we move on to deck number 3. And that is the Star Child Tarot. So I had already pulled the Moon Child Tarot in one of the other prompts for this hashtag. So I was like, well, the Star Child is older than the Moon Child, and technically I've used it longer and, you know, therefore loved it longer. So that's going to be in my 2010 to 2019. I don't remember what edition this one is. I know, all I know, it's not the first edition. But, you know, the cards are large. The colors are crazy awesome. The collage, the digital collage is just I am such a fan of the artist. Danielle Knoll is, I try to collect everything that she has touched with her magic. There's even a book that has her art in it, and I was like contemplating getting the book just because of the art. I was like, I don't know if I'm actually going to read this book, but you know, I love her art. So yeah, and these decks, by the way, I've used all of them for client readings, so that was kind of another factor, making sure that it was something, you know, my top 5 that was not just a deck that I worked with for myself, but also for other people as well. So there we go. That is your Star Child Tarot, also with a lovely gilding, kind of that matte gold gilding. And then we move on to deck number 3. Woo! Santa Muerte Tarot by Fabio Listrani. And this is, yes, one of the very special limited edition with the casket, and it is numbered 1812. Yes. Okay, so I work with Santa Muerte, and like I was like, of course I'm gonna get the tarot deck, and then I got Fabio Listrani's Oracle deck as well. But this has been a workhorse. I have used it with clients. I would say more often I use it for myself, but you know, I have used it in client readings before. And yeah, I find with this one that it's very hard hitting, quite like the deity herself, in my opinion, or at least how I work with her. So yeah, the just artwork. Fabio Listrani is a fabulous artist, and I think was able to kind of capture the essence, again, in my opinion, of Santa Muerte. So I love using this deck. I don't use it all the time because, like I said, it's pretty hard hitting, and sometimes I don't want that hard hittingness all the time in my readings, because hard hittingness is a word. Okay, so there's that, and that is the second to last deck. So then we go into our final deck. My final choice of my top 5 of 2010 through 2019, and that deck is the Osho Zen Tarot. So this was actually my second deck ever that I ever got. The Enchanted Tarot was my very first deck, but it was this deck that I really connected to, and like just accelerated my practice and my tarot practice and all of that. I have since gone back and gotten the Enchanted Tarot. It's much larger edition, because all of a sudden it was like, okay, well now I feel called to finally work with it. But my original deck I had gifted to my best friend, so I wasn't about to be, you know, the person that was like, hey, can I know I gave it to you as a gift, but I'd like it back. because who does that? So I'm like, I'll just go buy it again. And now we're cool. But yeah, the Osho Zen Tarot was the one that definitely just like catapulted me forward, helped give me confidence in reading for others. And so this one was the system that I learned first before I learned like the RWS and everything else. So, you know, when people ask, oh, what's a good beginner deck? For me, I say just wherever you start is where you begin. So if you begin with, I don't know, like Lenormand, you begin with using Kipper, you begin using an RWS, you know, type deck, you start using the Wild Unknown, or you start using Osho Zen, it's like, it's wherever you start, you know, and whatever you connect with it's all about connection. So if you connect with a deck, you know, you can do a lot of learning to go along with it because you're excited about that deck and you're passionate about it. You know, so if you just grab a deck because somebody said, oh, that's a beginner deck and that's what you should start on, but you have no real connection to it and you're just kind of using it to learn, I think that the learning would not be as accelerated as it would be if you were actually really stoked about the deck that you have. So, and that's just my opinion. But anyway, yeah, that was my top 5 tarot decks of 2010 through 2019. You know, 2020 just, I kind of feel like this is like a future novel. It's like in the future, in 2020. Like, I'm in the future right now. But anyway, so that was a lot of fun to kind of dig through all of my decks. I am looking forward to seeing what everybody else's responses are. And that's it for me, Spiritual Homie. So if you dug this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to click subscribe, and don't forget to click that ding 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 notification bell for more videos just like this. And if you want to catch a reading from me, head over to www.kittensweightsandtarot.com. And if you want to throw a little Puma treat money my way, think about joining that KWT tribe over at patreon.com/kittensweightsandtarot. And I will catch you spiritual homies tomorrow. All right, peace, love, and chicken grease. Peace out.